Uncensored, no holds barred talk. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is Global Reality Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live edition of the Global Reality right here on the Global Reality Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thanks for being with us here tonight for another late night Moonbat edition of the broadcast. Wednesday, October the 5th, 2011, now into Thursday, October the 6th, 2011. Thanks for being here with us tonight. We've got some news and information. We actually do have, was able to scrape together a broadcast tonight. It was difficult on Monday night, which is, normally we're jam-packed with news. We had a lot of emails that night because they built up over the weekend. But generally, we're pretty jam-packed with news on Mondays, and it was pretty slack. And then, of course, yesterday I wasn't live either. Same reason there. Just not much material, and everything is sort of shifting around, covering the endless coverage of this Occupy the Fed stage fiasco thing. And we got some stuff to talk about concerning that tonight. But everything's, sort of moving around that. But, anytime there's things like this, I always feel that there are much deeper things going on that we're supposed to be distracted from by, being encouraged to go out in the street and participate in these, useless protests that are staged and, developed by the enemy. I mean, there's no other way around it. So I think that's probably what it has to do with. But we'll be getting into some of the news that I have gathered today. We'll be going through that. We'll also go into the mailbox and see what we have to talk about as far as mail tonight, listener emails. Love to have emails from you during the show tonight as well. Global Reality Show at gmail.com. That's Global Reality Show at gmail.com. You can always send emails over there anytime you want, and I'll do my best to read them here on the air and go over them and answer any questions you have. I don't like, if you send me an email, don't expect me to respond to it. Sometimes people send me emails, hey, how come you haven't responded to me? And I just say I'm not aware that, because I generally have the ability to be able to tell if it's a business email or something like that. Of course, I'm not just going to talk about it on the show and expect to, not be expected to email them back. What I mean is questions and stuff that are framed as if, there's something that's intended for the show, for the live show. So, I just don't have the time to sit there and type it all out, and it never comes across right. So oftentimes, if you send me an email and you don't get a response back from me with a question or my opinion on something, check the broadcast, go back and listen, within a day or 2 days after you sent the email and see if I talk about it. Sometimes stuff goes into the trash bin for no reason, and it's out of my control, but I do my best to check that on a regular basis. My website where this broadcast originates from is www.theglobalreality.com. It's www.theglobalreality.com. There at that website, you'll find the links to listen to my show live here. As when we are live, late nights, generally now it gets later and later all the time. But that'll change as soon as we go back to the time change, where we fall back an hour. Yeah, we'll start. Can't speak tonight. We'll start starting the show at midnight central-ish whenever the time changes again. So definitely make note of that. Right now, I'm working on the tail end of this film, and I'll be honest with you. If I could just, have a week or two and not have to do any shows and work on this film, it'd be super. It'd be super duper for me. But, I got to have, the fact of the matter is, we don't have shows, we don't get donations, we don't get support, and then I can't survive. That's pretty much what it boils down to. So I can't really afford myself the luxury of taking a week or 2 weeks off from the show to just work on the film and nothing but all day for a couple of weeks or a week or two. I know I'd be able to get it done if I had that. It's just a big portion of my day goes to gathering news and going through stuff and reading and researching. It's a constant little bits of research going on all day because there's things that are coming around all the time. And if you don't, the thing about it is you'll be surprised what you catch just from paying attention all the time. For instance, today, I've just seen, and that's how I know there's something underlying going on in the whole entire universe and in our world microcosmically as well right now. Because I've just seen so many crazy, weird synchronicities over the past few weeks in all aspects and in weird, strange places. And tonight earlier today, this evening, I was telling a friend, I was talking to a friend about Apple and about Steve Jobs and all this stuff. And because, I've been looking at Macs to get a Mac for video editing, for doing films and stuff like that. And man, I got to tell you, these things are super duper overpriced for what you get as far as hardware. And so start looking at different options and looking at, things like the ability to be able to basically turn a drive on a PC into a, Mac OS drive. And lo and behold, I found a program there that I don't know if it works yet. I haven't tested, but it seems everything I've read says it works. Where basically somebody basically figured out how to modify the BIOS and also have a program that basically makes it run on your hardware. And they took that and they daisy chained it to a Mac OS Lion installation. It's like 4.5 gigs or 4.75 gig file or something like that. So that you can actually install a Windows OS on a partition drive or an extra external drive or extra internal drive or something like that. And actually have, I know that they've had it the other way around with Macintosh for some time now. I used to actually work for a software company about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and I worked for in the Mac department. So I know quite a bit about that. So a lot of this news regarding Apple today kind of hits close to home for me because I've worked on Apple computers for a long time, worked on Apple computers at a very early age. Shit, going back to second grade, the Apple II, and then worked on Macs all the way through like OS 6 and all the way back to that and on up. And so when I worked for this software company back about 2000s when I started working for them, I started out as just a customer service rep. Then they figured out I knew my stuff. They moved me up to tech. And then after that, they asked me, they were like, Macintosh? And I was like, oh, yeah, I know Macintosh. Absolutely. No problem. They're like, okay, well, we don't have anybody who knows how to run Macintosh, so we're going to put you in charge of that. I was like, great. And one of the things that from talking to the guys here that was interesting is, it was this huge, gigantic, one floor office building that just went on for like fucking miles. It was just full of cubicles, and there was different accounts for different places there. And I've told the story about talking to some of the guys from an antivirus company just, weeks after 9/11 and saying, oh yeah, we rewrite the viruses. And, it's a known fact in the company. Well, That was the same place I worked at. Well, one of the things that that I found here was that, you know, they would monitor all the traffic going in and out of their massive servers there. And they had somebody that was real-time monitoring that at all times, so they could see screens on people's computers, but they could only see it if it was on a PC. They couldn't see if it was on a Macintosh. And I started talking to some of the guys who worked in IT there, and they told me that, yeah, it's even from the lowest level to the highest level, they don't, at that time, that was 2000, 2001, 2002. So 9-10 years ago, at that time, I don't know about after it, but up to that time, he told me it was absolutely impossible for them or the NSA or anybody else to cross-platform monitor on Macintosh. They, you know, if you're on the internet, yeah, they can track you and trace you and look in your back door and see whatever else, no problems. And he also, this is why Macintosh are always sold at a premium. It's kind of a hidden a hidden premium that you're paying for that most people don't know about. And you're paying for this hidden premium of, yeah, you're paying, you know, $3,000 for an iMac or what, you know, with a quad core and 8 gigs of RAM, when you can, for, you know, for $1,000, $800, you can go get a system, build yourself a system, a PC that'll smoke that hardware wise. But what it is that what you're buying when paying, you know, exorbitant prices for their hardware and their operating system is that you're buying the fact that it's not as easy for them to get in right into your back door and track and trace everything you're doing on your system. Now, once you put yourself on Google or Facebook or something else like that, hey, it's fair game and free game anyway. It doesn't matter. But straight into your computer, the monitoring of that, it's much more difficult, or was at that time. But once they moved over from IBM processors over to all Intel systems a few years ago in Macintosh, I knew it was over for them. I saw this Jobs thing coming down the pike. Those of you who've been listening to the show for a long time remember when you know, they first said he was sick, and I said, oh, God, they probably gave him the fucking, you know, the cancer virus or something. They're trying to, you know, stiff him out of the game or whatever. But it's interesting. I mean, both Microsoft is always went. Here's the way you got to look at it. Microsoft is, you look at Microsoft like this. They're, you know, they're the Pentagon. They're Microsoft is the NSA. You understand? Macintosh is DARPA. Okay, they're you know, the structural engineers. Anything involving computer-aided design, engineering, stuff like that. That's really how you differentiate the two. And so I was telling a friend today about all this stuff about Steve Jobs. You know, that you know, it didn't look good for him. You know, he just stepped down recently. That means he's probably going to die soon. And I kid you not, I went to a convenience store and I was gone like 5 minutes and had my screen up. And I came back, and in 5 minutes and I was gone, I came back and I looked on my screen and it said, Steve Jobs is dead at 56. And I was like, what? And right before that, I had been reading to my sister this article that I saw today, earlier in the day, before the announcement that Steve Jobs had passed away from cancer at 56. That's strange. My dad was 55, passed away from cancer this year. And I saw this, you know, and I was like, this is probably going to get buried in sort of the, you know, the fact that Steve Jobs died today. But I found it interesting that this article came out a few hours before his death. And, you know, they're probably hoping this one will get swept under the rug now. I'm going to make sure it doesn't. But it was Yahoo News here. Apple's 1987 prediction comes true in the web's wildest iPhone rumors. And this is interesting. Yesterday, the big thing was they were supposed to announce the you know, rolling out, or the show, they were going to announce the iPhone 5. And there was this big buildup. The build-up for the big letdown is essentially what it was, because it ended up not being an iPhone 5 like everybody thought it was going to be. It ended up being the iPhone 4S, which means iPhone 4 shit. So everybody was all scalded and pissed off about that, and stocks plummeted yesterday. So the stocks plummet yesterday. Then they today, this article I'm about to read to you comes out. and then Jobs dies. Now, listen to this. Apple's iPhone 4S announcement yesterday had many feeling a little deja vu. That's because the phone's new language-based voice assistant called Siri. Now, mind you, Siri, this thing is called Siri, S-I-R-I, Siri, as in Sirius, which can converse with iPhone owners, was the apple of Apple's eye decades before yesterday's announcement. In 1987, Apple released a video showing its prediction of a voice-based personal assistant on a touchscreen computer. In the video, a professor goes over his schedule with his touchscreen computer's virtual assistant. The professor's calendar says it's September 16th. When he asks his virtual assistant for a research paper from 5 years ago, the assistant pulls up a paper from 2006. That means that the 1987 Apple video was set to take place in September 2011. Just 1 month before Apple will actually release the same voice-based assistant technology. The eerie coincidence was not lost on social media. I mean, that's unbelievable. And I've been seeing little hints of this stuff lately. You know, we were talking about the parallel world thing the other night. You know, I've been seeing little hints of these, of, you know, just time travel shit and stuff that appears that, you know, somebody's been, has been going through time. Somebody's been traveling through time and says going back in the future and into the past. And I mean, that kind of accuracy like that is, well, to me, what it points in the direction of, it points in the direction of the stuff that I've heard about Apple, you know, or rather the CIA having these touchscreen communicating devices as far back as the 1970s. So what that would mean here is that there is a direct connection, and I, beyond any shadow of a doubt, found that there is. And I've known that for some time, but I'll tell you the connection here in just a minute. The bottom line of it is that the reason they were able to predict that is because it's an engineered and a controlled rollout of this technology. And the reason they were able to, quote unquote, predict that technology with such accuracy in time is because at that time in 1987, I believe, when that video was made, they already had that technology along with DARPA. Because it's a fact, DARPA has worked hand in glove with Apple. That's not just an opinion of mine. In fact, this Siri system, the Siri system was based on a program that was actually created, I think, back in the 1990s in conjunction with DARPA and Mac, and it was called PAL. Perceptive Assistant that learns. And that was the precursor to this virtual assistant software. And Apple, 100%, folks, 100% designed that software and worked on that project hand in glove with DARPA. In fact, there's a YouTube, I'll put a link to a YouTube video. There's actually a YouTube video on DARPA's PAL project on YouTube. And so I'll put that in the chat room for you guys. Hopefully it works. I see a blank there. I don't know, but you can go type DARPA's PAL, P-A-L, DARPA's PAL project into YouTube and find that video yourself. It's absolutely true. So what I'm saying here is that, you know, beyond any shadow of a doubt, we know that, well, I mean, it's called Siri, S-R-I or S-I-R-I, and Siri also is, it was developed at the Stanford Research Institute, so that's another play on there. Siri. I mean, there's all kinds of codes in this. So yeah, very strange thing there for them to say that, that they predicted this and the rollout of this. There's no question that if it's true what they say, and I've read it in various places that the CIA had these touchscreen communicators like iPhones as far back as the 1970s. I mean, what was that? Remember that video of the guy? Everybody was calling him a time traveler, but it was some cross-dresser. Appeared to be talking on some futuristic technology. I mean, what if that's a possibility? I mean, we don't know for sure. It's a very real possibility that there was advanced technology that was being hidden from us in times where we're told that no technology like that could have existed anywhere. For instance, in the release of a Charlie Chaplin film, what was that, the fucking 20s or 30s or some shit? But clearly that was a cross-dresser, and clearly they were talking on something. I don't know. But I think that's another hint. That's another clue that we, what we believe is and perceive as time and technology, it's all just an illusionary part of the matrix. But we believe it with such certainty to be real that here, when we hear otherwise, we can't even compute it. But it's a fact that technology is always 10 to 20 years now, sometimes even more than that, ahead of what they tell us that they have. And I've found that in my own research. I mean, things that I was reading about 10 years ago, folks, that they said were conspiracy theories, wingnut kookery and shit like that. Now they admit they have. The X-37B and all these advanced weapon systems, active denial systems, all this stuff. And I was reading about that shit 10 years ago, and people were saying, oh, that's kookery. They'll never have that. They'll never use that. There'll never be a use for them to have that. Well, that's, I guess you're wrong there. The past 10 years have shown if they don't find a use for it, they'll create one, be it a war they create or be it a staged, provocateur protest thing like it's going on right now. Man, this thing's been... I got an email here from MJ. It says all the viruses seem to be PC based. They simply don't work on my iMac. You should buy a refurbished Mac. They work and have a perfect warranty. Okay, thanks for the tip there. That's it's bizarre. But yeah, we've got. I'll talk more about this protest stuff in a bit. We'll see what kind of emails we got to get in here tonight. Oh man, I got to read this. I got this one, I guess, Saturday, and I forgot to read it earlier in the week. But man, I've got to write. I posted this shit in the chat room earlier. This guy, Phil, your email, sir. Literally, I had to go wipe after I read this shit about shat and urinated on myself at the same time. As you're just reading an email and you're not expecting to see what the next line is. You're like, holy fuck, I can't believe that guy just said that. This ranks up there with some of the most, one of the top epic emails I've ever gotten. Listen to this. Josh, I want to let you know a good book to read next would be Mushrooms in Mankind. After tripping my balls off tonight and fucking my girlfriend, it really got me to thinking about the fertility cults and the use of mushrooms in early Christianity. This plant made our culture, and now the priest class are trying to take it away from us through laws and regulation. You should go pick some mushrooms down there in Texas and talk with the gods yourself. It really is a unique experience. I have so much more to say, but I'm typing on my iPhone and I don't have my computer. So until next time, take care, my friend, and Godspeed. So until next time, take care, my friend, and Godspeed. I don't always drink Dos Equis, but when I do, I don't know why that's what that sounded like. Yeah, okay. You never expect to read the words, after tripping my balls off tonight and fucking my girlfriend. You never expect to read that in a line of email. You're like, holy shit, what? Ah, damn, son, put it away. Christ. Yeah, that's a good email, though. So thanks, Phil. Yeah, I have partaken of those said magic mushrooms many times in the past, and you gotta know where to look. Grain-fed cows, baby. That's what you're looking for. Grain-fed cows. You want any grass-fed cows? You want grain-fed cows. You want to go out there at about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. About this time of year too is a good time to do it. If the sun comes up, they're goners, but Yeah, and you know what? It's actually it's interesting. It's legal to harvest them, and it's legal to own them. State of Texas here. I don't know what the laws are in your state, but it's legal to own them. But it is illegal to consume them, and it is illegal to have them dried out. You can have a fucking, shit pile of manure and mushrooms, fresh as fuck, in the back of your truck, dude. Piled high, falling off the side of the truck while you're driving down the road. Just shrooms flying everywhere. But long as they aren't dried out, then it's not illegal. That's how it works. But it's illegal to consume them because you got to dry them out before you can consume them. So it's funny how that stuff works. The idea of outlawing a plant to me has just always seemed ridiculous. You know, chemicals, artificial things are legal. Natural, earth occurring plants, non-man-made, are illegal. But the tide's changing on that, like it is everything else. And how many stories have we covered here over the past few months of scientific studies now that have come out about mushrooms and the effects of it? Yeah, I mean, I will say this: not everybody has the mental fortitude for going that far down the rabbit hole. I mean, it's not something I suggest you doing if you're not ready for what you're going to experience, But it can be very beneficial, but just like anything else, it can also be very detrimental if you don't use it in the right way. It's like anything. People, I used to know people that would, eat a bunch of acid or eat a bunch of mushrooms or whatever, and they'd go watch, Schindler's List. I went over this dude's house and trip with him one time. I was like 20 or 21. I'm going to go trip over this guy's house. And guy puts on Schindler's List. I fucking called my dad. I was like, hey, man, I need a ride. Can you come pick me up? I need to get the fuck out of here. I didn't tell my dad I was tripping, but man, it was terrible. I've never understood that. Or they'd want to go watch, gore flicks, Faces of Death, and listen to, hardcore death metal while doing so. I mean, I don't know why you would invite that kind of negativity, because when you're under the impression of those things, you're very sensitive, and you're very sensitive to vibrations, be it they thoughts, be it words, sound, light, anything. And you're very, very perceptive beyond it. Everything is heightened. And so if you get, negativity in there, and that's what people call a bad trip. What happens in the result of a bad trip is that people take more than they are mentally able to handle, because it's all it is. It's all mental, but it gets on top of you. And if you're not experienced with it, you don't know how to shut it down, and you can get lost in it. And that's when you start to have problems, and, people can do stupid stuff. But then, that it really only happens in cases when people are not using those types of things properly. They're, psychedelics are a tool just as much as any gun or weapon can be a tool, but just the same way as a gun can go from being, a tool to get yourself something to eat or whatever have you, for just shooting for sport, it can go to be a deadly weapon at the turn of a hat. That drug can do the same thing. And believe it or not, there are some people out there that, they're already, I've talked about this before, they're already kind of mentally unstable, and then you add a psychedelic drug to the mix, and it's fucking gasoline to napalm, dude. You're just talking about, not good. And I've seen the same thing happen to people with information like what we talk about here on this show. Somebody that's already, and I've seen that a lot, especially with people that have, said negative things about me, and most of them just make stuff up out of clear blue sky because they can't combat my info. They have to try to make ad hominem against me and try to make it about me and not the information. It's not ever about me. It's about the info. And, I think that's the case with a lot of these people. And, man, oh man, oh man. Interesting stuff. But, a lot of people, they start getting involved in this type of information, and it changes their mind so much that, they were already a little mentally unstable and already a little not all there, and throw that in there and can make for bad things. Same thing with those with psychedelic drugs or anything else. So, like I said, I believe those things were placed here for as a tool for us, just like anything else. And it's funny how, I've never heard any stories of anybody that's gone on an acid trip or an acid's a chemical. It's, you stay away from it if you can. But there are naturally occurring versions of it. There's LSA. It's found in morning glory seeds, baby Hawaiian rosewood seeds. You can get ones now that aren't sprayed with chemicals that make you sick. It's a naturally occurring version of LSD. It's called LSA. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you wouldn't trip balls for about 14 hours if you ate some of that stuff. I wouldn't know anything about it, but yeah. But that is definitely a real thing. LSA is there. That's found. There's all kinds of those things, and it's funny that I've never heard any stories of people doing mushrooms or mescaline or something like that, and when they're done saying, you know what, I'm going to enslave all of humanity. My goal in life is to enslave all of humanity, to set up a military-industrial complex, a war machine, a banking machine, a religious machine. I'm going to take over the world and control people's minds and dumb people down and commit mass murder and genocide all over and get everybody to kill each other. Just doesn't happen. I've seen a whole bunch of people come out and say, you know what, I want to change things right now in my time, and not only in the world at large, but in my own small little world, in my own little microcosm. I've seen people say that a whole bunch of times. Seen people make steps and take steps towards doing stuff like that because of epiphanies and things that they've come to in psychedelic experiences. For me, I mean, absolutely. That happened to me about 10 years ago. That's, had a psychedelic experience, and something during that psychedelic experience told me that, I needed to start doing something to get the truth out, even though at that time I had a much smaller idea of what that truth actually is than I do now. But that's, hey, that's the point though, right? To research and evolve and to keep growing and keep on going. If not, you're a dinosaur, you're dead. You got to keep digging every day. That's what keeps me going, to the stuff that I know, not the stuff I don't give a shit about. The stuff I do know, I can regurgitate that for you all night long, but that doesn't, I know it, so it doesn't blow my hair back. I'm looking for the stuff I hadn't heard about yet. I want to read this, and I got to say, I really was trying to avoid this the other night with a listener email. It was a new listener. I was trying to be nice. I was very honest. And that was a person that was asking about Bill Cooper. And I said, Bill Cooper, like anybody else, wasn't perfect. You should look into his information, take what you can of his information that, look into it for yourself, expand on it, whatever else. But this constant obsessing over Bill Cooper, I just can't relate to it. But, I wasn't putting down Bill Cooper, and I wasn't really defending him either. I was just saying, most everybody I've come across, you can say shady stuff about. I mean, if Bill Cooper was a new cat on the scene of the conspiracy research community today that came on the scene and said that he had been, a part of the Demole Freemasonry group at a young age, and that he had been a member of, naval intelligence, worked in the Navy, he'd be kicked right out the door before he ever got off the air and did a radio show. because everybody now believes that if you ever worked for naval intelligence or you were ever involved in any group of Freemasonry, that you have to be a plant and have to be working for the enemy. And you wouldn't even have ever had a Bill Cooper. So what was different then than it is now? Well, number one, it was a very different time in research. It wasn't as broad as it is now. And it's just a different time. Like I said the other night, the stuff that Bill Cooper said was in the context of his time. You know, it's like going back and looking at old manuscripts of George Washington and wondering why, you can't find anything in there that relates to, Barack Obama. Well, it's a different time. But Mark says, hey, Josh, enjoy listening to your show, but one thing spoken about on Monday night was Bill Cooper's research, partly verifiable, but one connection unmentioned is the admission of going into Demole Freemasonry at a young age and his time in naval intelligence. I know you said that about the argument with Jordan Maxwell being designed to put the masses into numerous traps, but this admission of being inside very suspect organizations makes you wonder on some of the info put out. Oh, and quote, about 2 billion people dying from AIDS in 2000, sensationalizing worse than Alex Jones, Jonestown Y2K broadcast. I'd have to wholeheartedly disagree with you there. To say Bill Cooper was sensationalizing worse than Alex Jones. I mean, are you defending Alex Jones, dude? That's what it sounds like to me. This is a subtly veiled defending of Alex Jones. I mean, I just don't get that. Why do you have a problem with somebody being a fan of Bill Cooper? I have no problem with somebody who wants to be a fan of Bill Cooper. They might learn something there. Yes, I warn people to do their own research. And yes, I warn people that I think he's wrong about a lot of things. And yes, I don't like the fact that he was, my opinion is once in naval intelligence, always naval intelligence. You can't trust anybody there. But I think he was threatened. I think that's why he recanted the UFO stuff. I think he actually came out with real truth at first. And they started making threats against him, and he started changing his story around, and that's what led to him subsequently being assassinated. But honestly, dude, I don't even know why we're still talking about this. Because I don't understand why somebody couldn't send an email and ask me there was a new listener that asked me my opinion on Bill Cooper. I was trying to not have to go into, all the particulars on what I think is wrong with him. Because, I mean, really, that's just my opinion, and your opinion. Who cares? And the stuff that I think is, that I don't like about Bill Cooper pales in comparison by a million years to the facts that we have against Alex Jones, the Council for National Policy, and the entire goddamn phony truth patriot movement in general. Wake up, Mark in Ireland. Christ. Pull your head out of your ass. I mean, who cares? William Cooper's dead. Jonesy is alive and running ops right now today. Take what you can from Cooper. Don't take anything from him or me or anybody else as the gospel, and do your own goddamn research. Only somebody who doesn't spend any amount of their day really researching and not just reading, InfoWars websites or Conspiracy Central or fucking, Tinfoil Times or whatever. Only someone who doesn't spend their time researching and only spends their time, having WWF matches between different researchers, or, only someone who doesn't do their own research would have time to worry about that. And that's, don't try to drag me into that either. Just because I expose these phony patriots on Alex Jones and I expose the CMP and the phony right-wingers and all these people and the deeper ops, don't mistake me for one of these people who just, wants to have a WWF pissing match in between researchers and radio hosts. I would have never brought this shit up if I didn't think it was absolutely pertinent and there were some huge questions there, and there are. Why is Alex Jones' lawyers the Bronfman banking empire lawyers? Huh? That's a good question. Got a million of them. So let's continue to worry about the guy running ops today who's alive, not the guy who's been dead for 10 years and may or may not have been running ops. Who knows? We just don't have time for this shit anymore. See what else we got here tonight. Let's see. I've got a message here from Marcus. Hey, Josh, just want to let you know that today, October 5th, is a year since I put the Global Reality Followers YouTube page together, and here's the stats so far. Okay, so 1 year since you've had where he uploads all the clips from the shows every day. That's cool. 8,161 channel views, 35,611 total upload views, and 5,000 views on one video, 3,000 on two of them, 1,600, 1,400. That's great. I truly appreciate how you've helped me to help myself grow mentally and spiritually over these last few years. You're a humble man, and I'm here for you to help out anytime. Peace and love, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. I love you, man. Marcus has been listening I think since 2008. I think it was 2008, wasn't it, Marcus, when you over there at Oracle? I think when we first started Oracle. I think I remember Marcus going back to then. In 2009 for sure, but maybe in 2008, I can't remember. But yeah, Illuminated Scam in the chat room. And he puts up the shows every day. So thanks to him. Great email there. Here's one from George. He says, hey, Josh, this is where I get emergency rations from if you want to try to get them as a sponsor. Mountainhouse.com. Okay. Great. I'll check that out, George. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I want to bring some sponsors onto the network. So anybody out there knows any, please send them my way. GlobalRealityShow@gmail.com. If you want to do a deal for a banner, if you want to do a deal or something, hit me up. Let's get 2 or 3 in here. It'd be great. It'd be super. Help us out and help the people who help us out by donating every month as well. You know, we'd be able to not have to worry about it so much all the time. Trying to work on getting those goals instituted we talked about last week, you know. Let's see what else we have here. Here's one from Leo. He's a guy that said he was from Dallas last week and he's in my area. He says, what are your thoughts on Dr. Judy Wood's ideas on the use of directed energy weapons used on 9/11? I'm not really focused on 9/11 and not been for a long time. I just noticed the visceral A.J. Blowhard and company, the visceral reaction A.J. Blowhard and company had when Judy Wood's research was mentioned. Then Alex
Suck Satan's cock.
Jones made a stupid comment about space beams from the planet Pop-Tart, and that diverts the conversation. I also found that Joseph P. Farrell's work to be very enlightening. He is very against the organized control of the priest-class religions. On a different note, I am struck by the way the tablets of Thoth sound very similar to the Lost Book of Enki. The language is more colorful and diffuse, but nonetheless very interesting. P.S. My band is playing at the Barley House in Dallas on the 22nd of November. Listening to last night's show, and I'm up for going down to the Fed on Friday to give Jones some of his own medicine. Right on, dude. Super duper. Go down there and get some. I should put a bounty out on this or something, you know? Maybe we'll do that, you know? That's a good idea because honestly, you know, it's just not in my best interest to go down there and do that. I've got to get this film done and get this film out if I'm going to have in effect in taking down Jones and other people like him, the CMP and the whole deal. And, I can't afford to go down there and get provocateured into some horse shit by Jones or his Fed goon squad or anything else. I'm too high profile. You know, they know who I am. But if any of our listeners out there would like to go out and, you know, go get a bullhorn or something and, you know, a bullhorn Jones and say, Jones, tell us about, because what he's going to do is, I found out, see, now Jones is taking the position that people like myself and others have taken about this whole Occupy Wall Street thing. Jones has now taken the position that, in my research points to this as well, it's the same place. but it's his. He has a different intent. He's a different spin, a different reason for doing this. Because now Jones, who's appeared to be very much behind, in supporting of this Wall Street occupation, is now taking a turn. And Alex Jones is now saying that he believes this is a George Soros-funded occupation, and it's being done, a staged operation by the left wing. And it's hard for me to argue that with him, because my research took me the same way. I told you the documents last week we talked about where they were saying, anybody that mentions, the Wall Street occupation or Federal Reserve or anything else is now, red flagged on social networking sites. Well, it appears now that he's taken the stance that that's, this whole thing is just a staged operation. I agree it is as well. I mean, even at their website, the website for Occupy Wall Street. Too bad he didn't tell his buddy Luke Rudkowski. Apparently, Luke Rudkowski got beat the fuck up by some by some batons and pepper spray. I mean, y'all are some dumb fucks, man. You don't go to these things unless you want to get beat up in pepper spray. That's what this is for. And I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But OccupyWallStreet.org, on the front page of OccupyWallStreet.org, it says they proudly announce that there are numerous union groups that will present in New York today to join demonstrators in marches taking place this afternoon. Together, we will protest this great injustice. We stand in solidarity with the honest workers of MoveOn.org. So Occupy Wall Street is in bed with MoveOn.org. I mean, my God, that's pure Obama op right there, folks. But why? What is their interest in getting Jonesy to not join the rest of his buddies like Luke Rudkowski and the rest of you? Well, apparently he is joining it, but he's coming to Dallas on Friday to the Federal Reserve at 6 p.m., well after there'll be anybody there, and it's the weekend. And I suppose he's going to be bullhorning and telling everybody that, the whole thing is phony and this is a Soros-funded deal. But if we had somebody there that could also say, hey, Alex Jones is a phony because he's in bed with the John Birch Society and the Council for National Policy and the Jesuit Order. And, he's got footage from inside Council for National Policy meetings and his videos where they don't allow any media in there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Man, that could, might make some good footage, especially if Jones like, hey, fuck you, kiss my ass. But I'll tell you what, if anybody's going to go down there, and anybody wants to go, all turnaround's fair play as far as I'm concerned. If he's going to go down there to these protesters and call them all a bunch of left-wing Soros-funded commies, which they may very well be, it's hard for me to argue with him there, but that doesn't excuse him from being a right-wing CMP John Birch Society-funded Jesuit stooge either. So I think that we as citizens have just as much of a right to go to this event to call out Jones for what he is, if he is going to use this stage event to go and stage his own tirade against the left wing and the liberals and look good for himself on the right wing. That's all it is. That's the reason Jonesy is not behind this, because his right wing controllers are making sure that he stands against this, so that when they get ready to have their revolution, they get ready to have their protests, it'll be seen as a little more legitimate because Jones didn't get people on board with the Occupy Wall Street thing, which tells me there's probably going to be some, remember when they had the World Trade Organization fiasco about 10 years ago? I think it's going to escalate to that. And I think Jones's connections within the intelligence community are very aware of that, and they've informed him to step away from this. That's what I think. But I'll tell you what, let's make it interesting. Anybody who goes down to the Federal Reserve building in downtown Dallas on Friday at 6 p.m. when Jonesy is there and gets video footage of themselves or somebody else asking Jonesy the tough questions and getting his response on video, I will pay $100 for that video so I can include it in my film, The Secret Volume 2. How about that? I don't have a lot of money and I'm having to go into my computer budget to get that. But by God, if it makes the video better, hey, let's do that. So anybody who wants to do that, got to have PayPal. I'll transfer it to you in PayPal. As soon as you can send me the video, I'll send you $100. And boom, shebang, there you go. I also give you credit in the film as well. Let's see if anybody, I doubt anybody will do anything, but let's put it out there and just for shits and giggles and see what happens. But we didn't get anybody to go cover the CMP meeting in San Francisco, which was a shame. I couldn't raise $2,000 to go out there and go do it. So, maybe we'll be able to, pull some resources together in the future. And if we ever find out where they're going to have one again and go, stake it out, hopefully they'll have one in Dallas again sometime. I'll definitely go stake that out. Let's see. Any more emails in the bag tonight? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't finish that last email there. Dr. Judy Wood. Man, I don't know. I know I've got listeners out there that like Dr. Judy Wood and all this stuff. And, look, I'm not saying there might not be something to the whole directed energy weapon thing on 9/11. I mean, there may be. It could have been transdimensional time gnomes for all I know. I don't know. And neither do you, and neither does anybody else, really, a small few people. But we're never going to know exactly what happened there ever. No matter how much truth we think we have, we're never going to know. I'll just say this because I just don't give a care. And this was like 4 years ago anyway. So, and I don't associate in the truther circles anymore. So who cares? But, I've never told this story before because I was trying to keep this in confidence, but it's been 4 years and who gives a rat's ass anyway. But a very well-known blogger, this was at a 9/11 Truth meeting in 2007. I shit you not, it's absolutely true. A very well-known 9/11 Truth blogger. You've heard, some of you might be familiar with the website 911blogger.com. There's a guy who got very well-known on there, and he has his own blog, the George Washington blog. You guys ever seen the George Washington blog, George Washington's blog? Well, turns out that guy, George Washington, that writes that, is actually from my area, the Dallas area. And he hooked up with our 9/11 Truth Group back in 2007, and he came to a meeting, and he started telling me we were talking about no planers and directed energy weapons and stuff. And he said that he was on a multi-person call one time with Judy Wood and Bob Bowman and Jim Fetzer. And essentially, they were all behind the scenes talking about, ganging up on the other guest because he didn't fall in line with what they were believing. Not what information, not between, this is between breaks and commercial, nobody could hear anything. And this guy is sitting there hearing, them say, oh, hey, let's ruin this guy. Let's crush this guy. Let's make him look stupid. And, I don't know, man, the way he described it, it sounded like there's some serious provocateur, fed bait type stuff going on there with Judy Wood and Fetzer. And I don't know. Maybe there's not, maybe there is, who knows? But just what this guy told me, he said it sounded like bad news to him. He didn't want to, they were trying to coerce him into ganging up on some other guest that was on this talk show or radio show or something they were doing. And he wouldn't do it. George Washington guy, he wouldn't go along with it. He was like, no, I'm not going to, and, they were like chiding him because he wasn't going to get on board. I don't know. I don't know if there's something to the Judy Wood thing. There may be, who knows? But all I can say is I have firsthand experience from a witness who said that she was up to some shady shit that seemed like she was trying to push her agenda in a way that wasn't conducive to just the information and the research, but in a way that seemed pushy, in a way of trying to get disinformation over on somebody. You know what I mean? I don't doubt that, there's more to 9/11 than meets the eye, but that kind of stuff I just can't get down. I can't get on board with, All right, I think that's all we have tonight as far as emails. We have a bunch of news. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break, come back. From the break, I'll try to blow through this news as fast as I can. We'll try to get into tablet 4 of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, tablet 4 for you here tonight on the show. We're getting Moonbatty. I know it's late. Stay up late with us. Make some coffee. Go have yourself a smoke. All right, back here with you on the Global Reality, right here on the Global Reality Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. Thanks for being with us here for the late night Moonbat edition of the broadcast. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight. Staying up late, staying up early, however you want to look at it. TheGlobalReality.com is my website where this broadcast originates from. The archives are up there. My films are up there. All kinds of stuff up there at the website, TheGlobalReality.com. Chip-in banner and donate button is there as well. We also have a monthly subscription where you can set, there's a drop-down menu and you can select an amount there. If you don't want to come back every month and have to worry about, making the same donation every month, or whether there's a whole bunch of from small amounts all up to large, very large amounts. If you want to choose one of those, we have a couple of people at the $20 level. That's really all we have as far as subscribers, but we thank those people for their monthly subscriptions, and you can do that. And then it saves you from having to come back every month or mail a check every month or whatever have you. So that option is there as well. We also have the P.O. box there for people who can't use PayPal, but PayPal's our preferred method of pay and donations here at the website, and it keeps us going. And this is not a fundraising week for us. It's not a fundraising month. So maybe for that reason, this is one of those weeks. This is why I've got to try to find a workaround for. That's why we want to try to find some sponsors. I'm about to make a commercial for sponsors, seeking sponsors and stuff like that, just to get a few on here. And we're hoping to try to bring some sponsors on, but still keep it as commercial free. And just because we have some sponsors and necessarily mean we're going to not be commercial. We're going to have commercials. Keep that in mind. It just means that we're going to have, well, we're going to try and think of new and inventive ways of doing this. I'll be able to provide, advertisement for people with goods and services, and do it in a way where it's good for everybody, including the people that listen and that kind of thing. So, it's not. So this isn't really a fundraising week for us, but. Please donate if you can, because this is everything. We don't have any sponsors or anything like that right now. And if you enjoy what I do here and you like what you hear, and you like the information that I put out, and you like where I'm going with this, then you owe it to yourself to chip in and help everybody out that supports this broadcast as well. So please do that there. TheGlobalReality.com. Thank you so much. Please support us today if you can. I haven't got anything in this week, so. Waiting for that, but we got the bills paid last week, and we're getting there. It looks like we're heading towards being able to get our equipment stuff handled. That's great too, but we just got to have some money to survive, because all the other resources that we're getting in are going towards bills and buying new gear to be able to make this bigger and better for you. So that's where we stand. Thanks so much, everybody out there. Oh man, oh man, oh man! I don't even feel like getting into the news tonight at all. Is that bad? I mean, there's not a lot of it, and what there is none of that pertinent. Let me go through here. I did find it interesting that we had this comet strike the sun. You guys see this? And then there was a huge coronal mass ejection afterwards. I've been saying for a couple of years now, there was those NASA pictures that came out, those little black objects around the sun. I think somebody's messing with the sun. Either it's us or it's extraterrestrials or somebody. I think they've been launching probes or been launching nukes or something at the sun for quite some time, but I'll put a link to the article there in the chat room so you can look at it. It's very, very interesting. Humans are still evolving. Technology hasn't killed off natural selection, study says. Evidence that humans are still evolving has emerged from a study that shows women on a tiny island accelerated their birth rates over a period of 140 years to grow its population. It's often claimed that evolution has been arrested by the relentless march of technology, but this research contradicts that theory. Well, exactly. And again, we know why that is now, don't we? Because again, we're told that things evolve on this very slow time period. It just takes millions of years to happen. But yet humans, inexplicably, ours happened at a very, very quick rate, and it's still happening. I mean, in my mind, we have our explanation for this technocratic web that they have spun around us, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is the whole explanation for that. If they've now proven that, they've gone to seek to set out to prove that humans are still evolving, and they're saying no, technology controls that. Well, if they're accelerating technology, that means they're trying to also control the evolution of the human species. They like us right where they've got us. That's a fact. And so it's very interesting here to say that we're able to overcome even that. That's that's pretty amazing, and I think that's why they want to get us kicking and screaming into this transhumanist merging with machine things as quickly as they can. And it's amazing, we seem to be very adaptable creatures, which means that whatever we are derived from had to have been capable of that as well. But it's amazing. It just seems that they've got to get us into this transhumanist stuff. They've got to get us into this merging of machines. Because if they don't, it's very possible, even if they do, that with our adaptability, we may be able to adapt to this technology and overcome it. Let's say, for instance, in a situation where there's, where they don't give us a choice. You laugh, but that may not be a far off future for us if things don't stop going the way they're going. I mean, the forced transhumanism of all the people is not a far off idea, because it seems that the only thing these people can control is this 3-dimensional 5-sense reality. Other realms in the spirit world and in spiritual realms and other dimensions they can't control. That's why they want people to believe that this is all there is. This is, anything else after death, that's it, you're dead, there's nothing after that. They want people to believe that this is the only reality. And, in turn, be the only reality possible. I got to mention this. This is just rad. The Flaming Lips, the band The Flaming Lips, crafty veterans of the indie rock scene, are releasing Found a Star on the Ground, a 6-hour song that will benefit the Central Oklahoma Humane Society as well as the Academy of Contemporary Music. A 6-hour album would be rather epic, but a 6-hour song? Yikes, it gets weirder. The band raised $20,000 not by selling advanced copies of the single, but by accepting $100 minimum donations from fans with the promise of incorporating their names into the song. Over a 4-week recording period, the song grew from a manageable 25 minutes into a 6-hour fiasco. It gets weirder. The band is making the song available with a strobo trip, a device being described as a multi-sensory light and audio phase illusions toy. All right. Sounds like this device is built for one thing and one thing only. I wouldn't be surprised to hear about people taking LSD or something while listening to Found a Star on the Ground and playing with the strobo trip for hours and hours, says Flaming Lips frontman Wayne Coyne. We thought so. It gets weirder. At this time, we can confirm the rumors of a single 24-hour-long song are indeed insane and absolutely true. The Lips are recording the track this month. Oh, man. God bless Wayne Coyne. The Flaming Lips are great. I've seen those guys, 50 times, 60 times, something like that. Since like 92, 93. Yeah, I haven't seen them since about 2006, but because they got popular. which kind of sucks. But yeah, I've met Wayne Coyne 3 or 4 or 5 times through the years. I took some pictures of him one time that he really liked. And he told me to send him some copies, and come to find out, I thought he was giving me a P.O. box address or something. Come to find out, he gave me his home address. He didn't care. He's just like, whatever. So that's pretty cool, though. So a 6-hour song. That's insanity. They're going to start putting warning signs on the side of cell phones like they do on the side of cigarettes. Warning: holding a cell phone to your head might cause cancer. Probably we're about 50% on this or so. We don't really know yet, but yes, it very well could. But that's not going to stop you from still owning this wonderful new iPhone 4.S piece of shit, you slave. Here, take it. You love it. And when this is not cool anymore, we'll tell you the new BlackBerry up your ass SE is the new edition you got to have. Yeah. Yeah, you got to shove it up your ass and pulling out your puckered sphincter before it'll work. I'm so glad I don't have one of those things. God. Because it seems to me that when you have one, you got to get a new one like every year. They're good for about a year, and then you got to get a new one. Man, fuck that. I mean, I'd rather get a brand new computer that's going to last me 4 or 5 years, than get a fucking, and I'm going to do the same shit on it that I'm going to do on the phone. Fuck a phone. I don't even like talking on the phone. I never liked talking on the phone. Remember those chicks always wanted to talk on the phone? You come over here and let's do some dirty stuff, and then we'll talk. And then we'll do some more dirty stuff. But then we'll talk some more. But then that means if we talk some more, we're going to have to do some more dirty stuff. But, you see where this is going. But no, I mean, just talk and talk for hours and hours. God damn. I spent a good portion of my young adult life as a teenager on the phone with chicks I just, might or might not have, in a small gleaming possibility in the universe, got some stank pank from or something, Christ. But seriously, fuck a phone. That's just me. None of the rest of this news is even important. Let's get into the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, not Lost Book of Enki, Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Let me get a drink here. Tablet number 4, the Spaceborn. Listen ye, O men, to the voice of wisdom. Listen to the voice of Thoth, the Atlantean. Freely I give to thee my wisdom, gathered from the time and space of this cycle. Master of mystery, son of the morning, living forever a child of the light. Shining with brightness, star of the morning, Thoth, the teacher of men, is of all. Long time ago, I in my childhood lay neath the stars on long-buried Atlantis, dreaming of mysteries for above men, far above men. Then in my heart grew there a great longing to conquer the pathway that led to the stars. Year after year I sought their wisdom, seeking new knowledge, following the way, until at last my soul in great travail broke from its bondage and bounded away. Free I was from the bondage of earthmen. Free from the body, I flashed through the night. Unlocked at last for me was the star space. Free was I from the bondage of night. Now to the end of space sought I wisdom, far beyond knowledge of finite man. Far into space my soul traveled freely, into infinity's circle of light. Strange beyond knowledge were some of the planets, great and gigantic beyond dreams of men. Yet found I law in all of its beauty, working through and among them as here among men. Flashed forth my soul through an infinity's beauty, far through space I flew with my thoughts. Rested I there on a planet of beauty, strains of harmony filled all the air. Shapes there were, moving in order, great and majestic as stars in the night. Mounting in harmony, ordered equilibrium, symbols of the cosmic like unto law. Many the stars I passed in my journey, many the races of men on their worlds, some reaching high as the stars of the morning, some falling low in the blackness of night. Each and all of them struggling upward, gaining the heights and plumbing the depths, moving at times in realms of brightness, living through darkness, gaining the light. Know, O man, that light is thy heritage. Know that darkness is only a veil. Sealed in time, heart is brightness eternal. Waiting the moment of freedom to conquer, waiting to rend the veil of night. Some I found who had conquered the ether, free of space were they while yet they were men. Using the force that is the foundation of all things, far in a space constructed they a planet. This sounds like Star Wars. I mean, the beginning of this was like in a galaxy a long time ago, you know, far, far away. Now he's just talking about using the force. I mean, it's a fact. There's all kinds of stuff that's from occult literature in Star Wars. There's just no denying it. But, I mean, this is pretty blatant right here, guys. I mean, you know, a long time ago, galaxy far, far away, using the force that is the foundation of all things. Far in space, they constructed a planet, the Death Star. Drawn by the force that flows through all, condensing, coalescing into ether, into forms they grew as they willed. I mean, that sounds like the fucking Emperor, doesn't it? Outstripping in science, they all of the races, mighty in wisdom, sons of the stars. Long time I paused, watching their wisdom. Saw them create from out of the ether cities, gigantic of rose and gold, formed forth from the primal element, base of all matter, the ether, far flung. Far in the past, they had conquered the ether, freed themselves from the bondage of toil. Freed themselves from the bondage of toil. That means they freed themselves from, because that's what the Anunnaki, remember, just like our listener pointed out, a lot of similarities here with these translations of these tablets. Between the Lost Book of Enki, Sumerian tablets, this, very similar writing here. But the bondage of the toil is the bondage of, you know, that's what they talked about. Humanity to toil in bondage for, you know, for eternity on behalf for the Anunnaki. They formed in mind only a picture and swiftly created, it grew. For then my soul sped throughout the cosmos, seeing ever new things and old, learning that man is truly space-born, a son of the sun, a child of the stars. Know ye, O man, wherever from ye inhabit, surely it is one with the stars. Thy bodies are nothing but planets revolving around their central suns, or heart. When ye have gained the light of all wisdom, free shall ye be to shine in the ether. One of the suns that light outer darkness, one of the spaceborn grown into light. Just as the stars in time lose their brilliance, light passing from them into the great source, so, O man, the soul passes onward, leaving behind the darkness of night. Formed forth ye from the primal ether, filled with the brilliance that flows from the source, bound by the ether coalesced around, yet ever in flames until at last it is free. Lift up your flame from out of the darkness. Fly from the night, and ye shall be free. Traveled I through space and time, knowing my soul at last was set free, knowing that now I might pursue wisdom, until at last I passed to a plane, hidden from knowledge, not known to wisdom, extension beyond all that we know. Now, O man, when I had this knowing, happy my soul grew, for now I was free. Listen, ye spaceborn, listen to my wisdom. Know ye not ye too will be free. Know ye not that ye too will be free. Listen ye again, O man, to my wisdom, that hearing ye too might live and be free. Not of the earth are you, earthy, but child of the infinite cosmic light. I like that. Not of the earth are ye, earthy. Earthy. No, you're not You're not of the earth, human. You're a child of the infinite cosmic light. You've been lied to and told that you're a child of the earth and you're from the no. You're a child of the infinite cosmic light. Boy, talk about something they don't want you to know right there. Know ye not, O man, of your heritage? Know ye not that you are truly the light? Son of the great sun, when ye gain wisdom? Truly aware of your kinship with the light? Notice how that? You're the son of the great sun when you gain wisdom. Kept in ignorance, you're nothing. That's it in a nutshell, isn't it, folks? Son of the great sun, when ye gain wisdom, truly aware of your kinship with light. Now to ye I give knowledge, freedom to walk in the path I have trod, showing ye truly how by my striving I trod the path that leads to the stars. Hark ye, O man, and know of thy bondage. Know how to free thyself from the toils. Out of the darkness shall ye rise upward, one with the light and one with the stars. Follow ye ever the path of wisdom. Only by this can ye rise from below. Ever man's destiny leads him onward into the curves of infinity's all. Know ye, O man, that all space is ordered. Only by order are ye one with the all. Order and balance are the law of the cosmos. Follow, and ye shall be one with the all. He who would follow the pathway of wisdom, open must he be to the flower of life, extending his consciousness out of the darkness, flowing through time and space into the all. Deep in the silence first ye must linger, until at last ye are free from desire, free from the longing to speak in the silence, conquered by silence the bondage of words, abstaining from eating until we have conquered desire for food, that is the bondage of soul. Then lie ye down in the darkness, close your eyes from the rays of the light, center the soul force in the place of your consciousness, shaking it free from the bonds of the night. Place in your mind the image that you desire. Place the picture that you desire to see and vibrate back and forth with your power. Loosen the soul from out of its night. Fiercely must thou shake with all of thy power, until at last your soul shall be free. Mighty beyond words is the flame of the cosmic hanging in planes unknown to man, mighty and balanced, moving in order, music of harmonies, far beyond man. Speaking with music, singing with color, flame from the beginning of eternity's all, spark of the flame thou art. O my children, burning with color and living with music, list to the voice, and thou shalt be free. Consciousness free is fused with the cosmic, one with the order and law of the all. Knew ye not, man, that out of the darkness light shall flame forth, a symbol of all? Pray ye this prayer for attaining of wisdom. Pray for the coming of light to the all. Mighty spirit of light that shines through the cosmos, draw my flame closer in harmony to thee. Lift up my fire from out of the darkness, magnet of fire that is one with the all. Lift up my soul, thou mighty and potent, child of the light, turn not away. Draw me in power to melt in thy furnace, one with all things and all things in one, fire of the life strain and one with the brain. When ye have freed thy soul from its bondage, know that for ye the darkness is gone, even though space ye may seek wisdom, bound not by the fetters forged in the flesh. Onward and upward into the morning, free flash, O soul, to the realms of light. Move thou in order, move thou in harmony. Freely shalt move with the children of light. Seek ye and know ye my key of wisdom. Thus, O man, ye shall surely be free. Powerful stuff there. Powerful stuff there. Tablet number 4. Man, when I read this stuff, it's unbelievable. I mean, you can really see where somebody who had access to this information could totally turn this into all the major world religions and into a total system of control. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Very interesting read. Well, we're going to leave it there tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and being with us. Be back here with you tomorrow night for another edition of the broadcast. TheGlobalReality.com is my website. Shipping banner and donate button is there. Please support us today if you can, folks. My name's Josh Reeves. I love each and every one of you, and we'll see you next time. You guys have a great night. Take care.